Hey man, so rainy day here. I'm outside working because I didn't get it done in the sunshine, but the truth of the matter is I tend to work better when there's some little hardship to make it a little more interesting. But I thought I'd talk real quick about three trends I'm going to watch this year to kind of to tell me where we're at on the reset, the societal collapse we're all waiting for. And in no particular order, there's three things that I think are great canaries in the coal mine. These things may not directly relate to what's coming, but I think they're a clear indication of what's coming. Or at least they're showing us how quick it's getting here, how close we are to it. The first one is sex robots. It's not just salacious, prurient interest in, some taboo topic. The advent of sex robots, and this story actually just even took another step forward this weekend. I think I was reading on the Drudge Report that in New York City at some strip club they're going to have robotic strippers for the first time. This thing is moving apace. This trend is important, and the sex robots they're making, they're selling, supposedly, according to the news articles I read, they're selling every one they can make. To me, this is very, 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 what's the word I'm looking for? Well, it's a great window into what's going on in the hearts and minds of men in the West, who are so turned off from women for good reasons and bad reasons, that this sex robot thing, there's sex brothels now in Europe where the robots are more popular than the real hookers. This is a window into what's going on in our society as far as forming marriages, although that term's become meaningless. Permanent pair bonding families, men willing to deal with women and whatnot. This whole sex robot thing is huge. Watch it. It'll tell you, I think, as that accelerates, as that trend accelerates, that'll tell us a lot about what's going on. The other one is the death rate among my generation, Gen X, and even some of the younger baby boomers, and the generations a little bit younger than me. Our death rate's really, really, really high. I mean, shockingly high. And this is in the West, of course. But we're dying. Our generation is going to be the first generation in American history to die younger than our parents, and it's actually scary how quickly some of us are dying off, and how the population crash is accelerating, and it may move faster in America than it has, like say in Japan, or even where it's about to start getting scary in China too with their population crash. Those places may not move as fast as we do here in America, and we got to watch that death rate for Gen X and even the millennials coming up behind us to see how quick we're going to depopulate here in America. The third one is the one you should always have to watch, and I'm not sure which aspect of this to keep an eye on because I'm not smart enough to know, but I know it's important. And that is the economy. I hate to be that broad. I wish there was something I could narrow down in on. Obviously, the stock market bubble is really interesting. I'm reading stuff I don't completely understand about a bond bubble, how the bond market's maybe and heading towards a crash. I think housing is overheated again because population is crashing. And we're overbuilt for the population we have for housing, so I think housing is going to crash. The price of oil is always interesting to watch. In the past, I would have, up until just a few weeks ago, I would have said watch the price of oil. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think that market's manipulated to the point, or turned into such a futures market, or they're trading oil almost like they would trade gold or cryptocurrency now. I think it's got its own intrinsic value or something. I don't know. It doesn't work right. But in the past I would have watched oil, but we got to watch this economy. It can't go on forever. There's going to be a reckoning. There's going to be a reset. Even mainstream, accepted sources talk about a correction coming, and a 20% correction, and a 15% correction, and a big downswing coming. So that's going to be real important to watch. My guess is we probably need to watch demand of some kind. Again, this all ties into the population decrease. I have what's the word? An honorable mention trend to watch. There is actually I have two honorable mention trends to watch, and one of them may have been more important than the first three. One is the grand solar minimum. We need to watch to see when the last freeze is this spring and when the first freeze is this fall, to see how this grand solar minimum is gonna maybe start affecting the crops. The other honorable mention to watch is there's a number of crops worldwide that are starting to fail. So it's not a big deal yet. One of them is bananas. Chocolate's another one. We're starting to see some challenges in some other areas, and as we start to see more and more of these crop failures, where a whole category of crop is oranges, citrus in Florida. Obviously, that's not the only place where citrus grows, but you know, it's a major spot. And there's others I can't really think of off the top of my head right now. As we start to see more and more of these whole categories of crops, or an entire agricultural industries, we're running out of light. That's the trend. That's the long-term trend. You know, that I would say would be an honorable mention to watch. Men, we appreciate you. Remember, we've got that meet and greet at the Golden Corral in Macon on March 10th at 12 o'clock. We're getting some pretty good feedback on that. I think we're going to have a group. So we look forward to seeing you there. And for everyone who was on the live stream last night, we appreciate it. It was a great time. There was a little bit of hiccups getting going at first. But once we got those ironed out and I was able to get my mind right, we had a good time and we enjoyed it. Appreciate you, man.